Hello dear viewer, I'm leesusss and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival Creative Mode, because as you probably saw in the last video, I need to make an hover vehicle. Yeah, and the purpose of that hover vehicle is to keep us alive, you know, in a bit more of a safe environment, travelling around a planet, but potentially be used on other planets where, you know, the environment is much less friendly than on Aqua, on a nice place like that, and also to carry things, to store stuff. And if I'm like looting a place because I've killed everything in it and I want to take all the supplies home, I'm going to transport those quite easily. Okay, now I've already started to do this, build a hover vehicle, but unfortunately you weren't here, or rather the my recording just went completely wrong, and I checked it halfway through, having a strange feeling that something was maybe going wrong, and that's what I found, that there was nothing usable on the recording. So I've partly built an horror vessel, but we're going to start again from scratch just so you can see how to do this, and then we can work from there. Yeah, we can then skip a bit onto the bit I think I've built so far. Right, so a hover vessel starts like most other constructions with a starter block, which incorporates a core and a series of steel blocks around the outside, of which one of the most important one is probably this one, because that little V means that direction. Yes, gravity, take hold. If you neglect to make notice of this V here, which is very easy to do when you first build a vessel, you get an intense embarrassment later when you first get into your vehicle. You press forward and it heads off in this direction, because rather than the front that you've built over this side, because you've neglected to know that the orientation was important. But anyway, this is one of the most important parts of a vehicle to have, the heart of a vessel or any other creation. And then what else do you need? Because this is how I start building hover vessels and other things like that. I have a concept in mind, generally, of some sort of concept in mind, but then there's a bunch of basic stuff that has to go on there to enable you to create a vehicle. Yeah, so we're going to go through the absolute basics of what we need on there, such as, for example, a generator. Obviously we need some fuel tanks. Yeah, and we're building here a not too simple a vehicle. We're not going as silly as the big box up there. You know, we've got a few levels under our belt already, and so therefore we can build something a little bit more complicated without going crazy. So we're going to try and build a little bit for the future. So 2 fuel tanks is probably more than we need, but it'll do for now. And then we're going to have some oxygen in there. We don't actually need oxygen right now because we're on a world where there's a breathable atmosphere. But at some point in the future we might need that. And this oxygen will allow us to stay safe while we're in the vessel and piloting it, even if it's a complete vacuum outside. Okay? The O2 supply will keep us going. We need a wireless controller, because we want to be able to put things into the storage in our vehicle while not being in it, as we saw with the base in survival mode. And then we need to have... what else do we need to have? We need to have a cockpit, of course, which is where the controls go. There we go. Just stick that one on there for now. And we need some RCS. RCS? Yes, rotational control systems or something similar is what they are required. If you were to build your very first hover vehicle, yeah, all you actually really need for the first vehicle is the ground repulsor engine. This can be used to build very, very simple vehicles. Some of them as simple as, you know, not much more than your hover bike would be using to zip around the planet with. But the good thing about these vehicles is they lift you off the ground, but they also provide you rotational power and to thrust in different directions. Yeah, and they're a very cheap starting vehicle. But we've gone a bit beyond that now, so we now need to be really onto hover engines. Now, hover engines have got much more lift and more weight carrying capacity than these, but to go with that, they have no rotational provision, and they won't thrust in different directions. So you need to have thrusters like these that will push you forwards, backwards, left and right. And also you need the RCS to enable you to turn. There's the bigger version. I did think about skipping to the larger hover version, but in reality this is more like a space-saving thing. This is basically 4 times the size of this, and the 4 times the lift, and the 4 times the volume of materials you need to put into building it. We don't really need. We're not building that big a vehicle yet. We're building a smallish vehicle, so we're okay with these ones here. But we do need some of those though. So we have some here. We put them on any old where for now. 4 will do. Let's try and keep it a bit square though. There we go. And we need to actually move around. We need thrusters. And we need one on each side for the left and right. And we need at least one on the back. We don't have more than that at the back, of course. Oops. That way. Here we go. And at least one on the front for the bricks. Fill that up. And there we are. We have a hover vehicle. Yeah. Great, huh? How much are we actually hovering? A reasonable distance off the floor. Not bad. And there you go. We're kind of there. You know, we have a hover vehicle. We have all the basic bits and pieces we need. No, we don't, of course. You know, what we really need is this is going to be a storage vehicle. So we need things like the container controller, like we did with the base. We put a container controller in, and then a whole bunch of container extensions. And hopefully, probably quite a lot of these. Yeah, quite a lot of these needed. I forget as well, you can make them in different shapes. I always forget that with container controllers. I tend to hide them amongst other things. Like that. See, there you go. Like that. How much storage is that actually? Let's have a look. Devices. If we go to... If we group them, and then we go to cargo box. There's the container controller. 1625. Now, if you remember this thing here, when we played around one of these blocks from here, each of those blocks is about 80 volume. So therefore, we can only put these full-size blocks, like the concrete or the steel these are made of, we can only put about 20 of those in here, and it will be full. Okay, so we've gone a bit bigger than that with the actual vehicle. But that's essentially what we want to do. We want to build a vehicle that's full of storage like that, and then spend our time making it look a bit nicer, not just a big box like it is currently. And before I got so rudely interrupted by discovering that my recording wasn't working properly, that's what I was doing. So over here, this is about where I got to. Yeah, this has got a lot more storage in it. It's got thrusters, it's got multiple lift engines, it's got enough thrust on each side, it's got brakes on the front, thruster brakes on the front, big thrusters on the back, and it's as ugly as sin, isn't it, quite frankly? But we'll fix that in a minute. Also, we have this space on the back, and in fact it's not really a space. It's actually a storage container. So I'm thinking of the future here for this vehicle, and one of the things that's important when you go to other planets is we're on a nice friendly world of Aqua right now. There's atmosphere, the temperature's not too bad except when you're near the poles. Your vehicle will keep you quite safe, and there's oxygen tanks in the vehicle so that you can stay oxygenated. And in fact, if you look at the bottom left of the display, you can see on my suit 2 little tanks, little diver's tanks. That's my oxygen in my suit right now. Yeah, I'm in a suit, I've got oxygen supply in there. But you can't just refill your suit by like taking your hat off and hoping it will fill up. You've got to put compressed air in there. So you can use things like these little cylinders that you can make in your constructor and various other things. But really, the best way to do it is to have certain other big tanks, or to have an oxygen O2 station like this in here, yeah? We'd have one of these faced in here. It's facing the wrong way, but let's turn it around so you can see the front like that. And the point is that you could be in a vehicle somewhere on some airless moon, and your suit, I think my suit's getting a bit low. You walk around to the back of your vehicle, and you can plug yourself into this, and it will refill your oxygen from the onboard supply into your suit. Yeah, really useful, but not actually needed right now. So we can take this out of here. Yeah, and similarly, there's also a basic medic station. It will heal some very simple injuries, but it's a good way of healing yourself up without using medicine you might be carrying around. So the idea is we're going to have a space back here for if those things, if we want to put those in later, but not at the point of construction of the vehicle, and they'd be nice and safe behind this shutter. Yeah, that's the idea. And what I was at the point of going, right now I need to start changing this vehicle so that it looks a lot nicer, and the to start shaping these blocks so that, because I've got all the container parts and the key parts covered up, cores underneath that blue block there. How do I make this look a bit nicer so it's less of an ugly lump? And the way I do that is just to start building. I start shaping blocks, moving blocks around, and to see where I get to. And that's what I'm going to try and do now. And I'll cut in and out of this to hopefully show you the progress I make as I'm building this particular vehicle. Actually, there you go. There's a classic case in point. How do I easily smooth this cockpit, the curve of this cockpit, into the main body? And one of the ways you can do that is by using a curved system onto a square piece here, but unfortunately the curve of this cockpit does not match the curve of these objects. And there's not so many different options of curves in here. And if I go to this one instead, it still doesn't match. Yeah? How do you deal with that kind of thing? I could just change the whole cockpit possibly into something else. But is that what I want to do? Or am I like happy with the one I have? If I take this off a second. And this is what takes all the time with making these things. So that's the one I was using. I've got that one there, which is far more square. These are the old original ones, the early version of the game. I've got something like this that's already got the square built into it, like that. That's possibly it. Is it big? It's bigger than the last one, isn't it? It's longer. Yeah, it sticks out more. Am I happy with that? I don't know. Remember, I've got to fit this thing inside here at some point as well. This is where vehicles can get rapidly out of control. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Right, well, I've got something going on here, but I appear to be confused between having squares and rounds from here. We can try and do that transition again, can't we? Where I went to the transition from the square to the round. Where was that? Was that one? Interesting. Like that. Do I like that? No, I feel like I almost want to like extend this out a little bit more. I've used the alternative thruster angle. Like this has got a different layout for the thruster. It's not a square block. It's got an angle block, and I thought I kind of like the curve at the back. Had a bit more shape to it. I think we could maybe mirror that at the front, so it comes to about here, then starts to trail down. We could maybe try and do that. So how would I do that from here? Is it the same block again? No. Do I have anything that trails down like that on the curves? Oh! Oh, okay. Okay, and we can have a little bit sticks out from there. I can't know if there's a way to copy blocks. I need to look that up. It makes my life a lot easier if I can remember. If I can just look at a block and copy it, I can't remember. It doesn't appear to be. It looks like I have to. I'm not getting the right combination of keys. Also, just add that all the whinges that I hate. I'm going to whinge about something and then say I don't like it. The whinges that I hate, people complaining about the idea of a necro of a thread. What are you talking about? What's wrong with old threads being brought up again? If the solution is not being answered in that version of the thread, what's wrong with bringing up a new version of it? I don't get that, but you know, something I see in old forums for old games, because I often play old games. I have to look at old forums. I need to copy that shape there, don't I? That's what I need to do. Oh, very satisfying. Very satisfying putting those in. Nice. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. I wasn't sure how that would turn out, but that's pretty good. Okay, so I feel happy about the shape of this. I might extend this out back a bit more. The storage part there. And then what do I do about down here? Probably, I'm thinking of like a... Right, let's get this around the right way. That, or more likely... Hold on. Come on, brain, you can work it out. That way round? Maybe. Big frame on the back. I might change that. I was originally thinking of having more of a rounded front on it, but I think this this square base, this square chunky front is now making me feel different about it. We could still try to do some rounded edges. Or we want less. So we've already got rounded up here. Is this too much? I was thinking about something else here as well, which is... I was thinking about putting some cannons on this. I guess we can still fit them in down here. We maybe do that now. I don't... The trouble with horror vehicles is they can't have... They can't have turrets on them. It's part of the problem. No, we're on the wrong section here. Where are they? You can have forward mounted guns, but you can't have turrets. What is that? An epic radiation protection boost. Cool. Nothing to do with this though. Why are we out of here? Okay, we want to be in this section. Yeah, we can put a couple of weapons on here, but not very much. Why do I keep wandering out of this zone? I want to... Oh, I'm going to search. That's why. Sorry. There we go. It's the weapons I look at. Oh! Maybe I'm wrong about HVs, and I thought HVs only had forward-facing guns. Maybe I'm... Yeah, I must be misremembering that. Okay, that makes things a lot easier. I'm obviously misremembering. A retractable turret. Why would you want a retractable turret? You might be saying to me. Well, because drones. Yeah, and it's hard to shoot at drones that are coming after you. We haven't met many drones yet because we've not needed to so far. But we will do later. And I would rather have a minigun doing the auto-aiming at these things rather than me. I don't particularly care about having forward firing weapons. I could put some in. I think for now I'm just going to do this for now. I might change this later, this curve here. But I'll just put that in for now. Yeah, okay. Okay, we have to move those thrusters, I think. And then we want to put in... I've not done lights yet, have I? I do need some lights. I keep forgetting the lights. There we go. A couple of spotlights so we know where the hell we're going. And where am I going to mount these? Oh, I thought I just moved that. There we go. There's a basic spotlight cube. I never get the difference between these two. What's the difference? Is there a difference? Then maybe there is. Spotlight slope horizontal. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. The light goes downwards. This one, the light goes straight out. Ah, okay. That makes sense. But not if I mount them like that. I thought we could maybe have a... No, that's not going to work. No, no, no. I guess put some square ones on there. And then change that front. Or have them... We can just leave the thrusters buried. Why don't we just leave the thrusters buried? And not care about them. Yeah? Don't have to be visible, like I said. They'll work just fine. My god, it actually works. Sometimes you wonder if these blocks can be rotated enough to actually do this. But it does seem to work. No, I didn't expect to make anything like this, but it's very truck-like. Oh, interesting. Interesting where I've gone to with this. Okay, now we can do a lot more with this. So, for example, a classic way of doing this is to... We haven't got big flat surface, but we've got a little bit of big flat boring surface. So what we can do is easily, like, you could put in like a... Hold on. That's too big of a jump. Actually, it's like that. And have one round the other side. Yeah, like that sort of thing. That's actually too steep. You could do one a bit less than that. Just have a bit more texture to it. Do I have a 3/4 piece to do that? I don't think I do. No. Just like a slight inset like that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that, but you could do something like that to reduce, to reduce the uniformity of the sides. There's maybe some things around that I can do. But you can't do too much sometimes. Oh, unfortunately I can't finish that off into a little point there because this block here is already taking the space up. Which is kind of a shame, but I think we're alright with that. What else do I do with this back, though? Can I extend this out a little bit further? With the curve or the square? What, this part here? Or maybe I do. I was actually thinking of something else originally over here, which was to put a spoiler on. You know, on the back half of your vehicle lifting up, you know, so you can put a spoiler on. I've done this sort of thing in the past before. It's like, it's kind of fun. About using space. Yeah, because you can do this. There you go, made a spoiler. I love it. This is where it starts to get silly with some of the bits on your vehicle now, but I think I'm still okay with it at the moment. I think we're going to add a bit of a ridge to this. Something sharper than we've done around the sides. Because we are generally being much sharper at the back. What have I got that will fit in that space? Like a pyramidal shape. No, I've got a complicated shape between... Maybe I've gone too complicated here. I've got a broad one and that's sort of narrow one. I don't think I've got a shape like that. Square on one side. Oh, maybe we do actually. So I just give up on these after a while. I cannot seem to get my brain around which piece I want and in which orientation. Yeah, I just cannot seem to work it out, which is very frustrating. It's usually the sort of thing that I think I'm good at, but maybe I'm not. Just give me the answer. I might have just picked the easier option of like how to connect these corners. Oh, I have forgotten something in here actually. Tuck it away inside here, which is detector. Very important for getting around, or rather scanning the place. How are we doing here? I kind of like the silly shape. I quite like it. So the question is, what else can we do with this? Obviously we can paint it. Is it still flyable? Or controllable rather? That's me disengaging from the docking claw. Actually I should show you that. I didn't show it in the last one. So we can turn it over. Oh, off she goes. No, she's managed to right herself. Right, okay. This docking pad here is the it enables you to lock onto other surfaces like the base here. This base is considered friendly. That means engaged, yeah, and it usually means there as well. If I understand it correctly, I haven't done this for quite a while. Is that you're now attached to a friendly base? So, for example, this could be powered. Like if you had a fridge or something on board, it could be powered by the what do you call it? The main base power, which would be far greater than it would be for an HV, and therefore would keep the base, keep the vehicle, you know, ready to go. Yeah, on top condition. That's the idea, without having to run its power all the time. And also, if for example, we could load this onto a massive vehicle, like a huge spaceship, and then connect it on, then drive away, and it would take the vehicle with us in like a transport bay. Cool, huh? We'll get to that much later. What else do we want to do on here, though? We could do lots of silly things with decorations and that sort of thing. There's a couple of basic things we need to check as well. Let's have a quick look at the states of the vehicle. We're not overusing the CPU. Remember, the CPU is what is like the complexity of the vehicle. You make a vehicle too complex and you put more CPUs in it. We don't need to do that as far as that goes. We can look at decorations, things like this, like vents and stuff. They're kind of fun. Easily put those on. Normally as well, I'd like to cover up the engines as well, but I don't think I'm going to. I did originally think of like putting like bulbous shapes around this. And maybe I would, but I don't think I will do for now. I'm kind of okay with it for now. I don't mind if this thing gets adapted later. But you know, we can put little bits on like that. Where's that sitting? It's sitting there, I think, isn't it? Yeah, we can put them on there. We've got these big aero blisters or whatever. Put some of those on there. Got a feeling this one won't flip around the other way though. Hold on. So that's narrow end pointing forward. Okay, they're the same. They're the same. Lined up. Yes, it is. Okay, that's kind of fun. We can do that on there, and we can add, I don't know, whatever bits and pieces you feel like really on these things. I haven't got many flat surfaces on this vehicle. We can't do too much. Add a greeble. Like that. Yeah, bits and pieces like that. That'll do, won't it? They don't have to put too much on here. Correct. What do we got here? Yeah, and we can put some lights and flares and things on here as well, possibly. To that with light blocks. I think we're kind of okay. Let's give it a name before we start painting it. I think that's perfectly okay for now. And what do we call this? I don't know. I mean, it does. I did originally think about like having quite a tubular back on it like this, and I thought it was going to be something like a bit like a cement mixer or something like, or like the garbage, like a bin lorry, like a garbage truck. You know, I don't think that might be the case when I did that, but it didn't quite turn out the way I thought it would. It's a bit better than I hoped. It is a bit bus-like, a big school bus, and I'm thinking of painting it a horrible colour because that is something I do like to do with things. But I don't know. Is it a little bit Yellow Submarine? Maybe. Should we call it the Yellow Sub? Why not? Because I am thinking of, it gives it away. I am thinking of painting it a horrible yellow colour. Yeah. There we go. It's the Yellow Sub. Yeah, there we go. We can get our paint gun out and start doing horrible things with this. Like, I don't know. What do I not normally use with these sorts of things? What could I do that's a bit more... We'll just stick with the standard texture from now. Oh, that is vile. I kind of love it. You know what I mean? We can pick a different colour. That's something we can actually do right now, yeah? Oh, that is wonderful. Oh, I love it. Oops, we're painting the floor as well. So, you may have seen this configure button down here as well. So I think we can change things through from here as well to like novel colours. Yeah, we can actually. So if we pick a colour like, if we go to 1, we can make this, let me think which way to go with this. No, actually that's, what I want is more, I think, a bit more red. No, I can't remember how to do this now. How do I go to the next set of colours? Trying to remember. I think I'm remembering how to do it. How do you change these colours? But never mind. World's messiest paint job done. Now what we'll do now, if we do... I need... we've got less textures in here because of the... we're on storage blocks here, but what we can do is what I'm looking for was I wanted to put O2 in here. We can do that for now, yeah, and on this side we can do something similar. Okay, so that marks out where we're going to put our O2 and our medical bay in the future. Yeah? And then let's go to symbols and we'll say nothing. Right, now I've made this horrible colour on the outside. What are we actually going to do to add more interest in here as far as colours and that kind of thing? On the interior, let's have a think what we can do from here. We're on surface only. Ah, that's the thruster, isn't it? We might keep that anyway, actually, you know. I do kind of like the thruster blue. Like that. There we go. More thrusters. Oh. I didn't realise the interior was a thing on thrusters. I never knew that. Interesting. Right, anyway, on these. I like the music, by the way, as background noise, but it's trying to drive me around the bend now with the constant loop. We should... What else can we do with the colours around here? For a start, let's have a different colour on the base. Possibly... Oops. Is that the right sort of texture that I want? No, not sure about that either. This is the one we used on the armour plate for the base before. Now, I'm not sure I like that. That's kind of default texture. We can go with this for now, maybe, and then we'll adjust some of it later. In fact, these ones I will, in fact, do the whole block. In fact, the whole of the base probably will be that colour, I'd imagine. Or is that too boring? No, I think we're all right for now. Core can stay yellow. What else can we add on the bottom of here? What would be... Damn it. What do you think would go on the bottom of things like this? Let's have a look. What else could we put on here that makes like sense for the base? The underside of a vehicle. I actually kind of like that. Yeah, I do actually. That hard wearing surface. Should we have some lights in the bottom as well? I like the idea of that. There we go. Okay, now this is like a transport vehicle. Therefore, we imagine there might be like a walking surface along here where you would maybe step. Ah, damn it! It's a thruster. I forgot it was a thruster back here. No, it's this one, isn't it, I think? Is that the right texture? Oh, it seems kind of bland to me, actually. Let's do that for now. Yeah, I'm thinking of like a stepping area where you maybe put your feet if you're checking the load on a vehicle or something, or you're clambering up on top. like that. There we go. And put that in grey as well. Why not? Not that texture on the side. Let's do that one maybe. Okay. Then what else can we do here? Haven't put anything like a grill or anything on the front. That could be certainly something we can do. How about something like that? I think I'm okay with the yellow sort of patchwork for now. We could certainly put something on the front of here though, like, no, not that. I'm thinking more like a like that, and then maybe on this part here an actual vent, or like a vent like that. There we go. We've got a lack of texture on the back. We can certainly fix that up in some way. It's a different splash of colour maybe on the back. I don't know. What about? I feel like I want to put some lights or something back here. This almost feels like the loading area of the. I know that the loader doesn't go here, but it feels like literally like a transport vehicle at the back, doesn't it? Like something that would park up to deliver the goods to your supermarket or something. What if we put a couple of flares on there? How about that? Just for light purposes. There we go. Flares don't do very much apart from just light up. Oh, it's a half block, isn't it? God damn it. I'll just taken a block out of that building over there. God damn it, Flare, will you go away? I've taken a piece out of my own flipping vehicle. You pain in the backside. An undo button would be wonderful, amongst other things. But there isn't one. Right. So flares are out on the back of here. I guess we can put some on the top up here. They can certainly go there. That's really annoying. Why do you not want to change? This happens sometimes with certain blocks. And I think what I need to do is... there we go. It's a matter of orientation, and then you can sort it out from there. Maybe sub means something else in the future. Who knows? Can I do the writing in a different colour? I thought I could do that actually. Can I not change text colour? I thought I could, but maybe not. Anyway, we've got a big yellow sub on the front. So give it for no reason whatsoever. Do we have any other like interesting like logos we can put on the side or anything like that? Textures? Symbols? We had fun with lines before, didn't we? We could put some lines on there maybe. That's kind of a cool symbol. Put that there. I think I can make them larger as well. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. I thought it'd be one symbol bigger. No. This is the problem with playing around with things. You should be more careful about which textures you play around with. Now, come on, I should be getting rid of the symbol now. Come on. In fact, I should be doing that, actually. God damn it. It's so easy to do things wrong when you're colouring things in this bloody game. And I've done all the way down here, look. Ah, give me a minute. I think we're back. I'd still like to do something with the back textures, though, I think. We can do that, actually. That might be red lights in the back of your vehicle. Maybe I am happy just not to have the texture effect on there. Just to have it like blank. I don't do that very often in builds. Usually I don't like the completely smooth surface. But I guess in some cases it's actually growing on me a little bit. I don't know why. Again, I'm getting to the point now where no matter what I do, I can't seem to be quite happy with what I'm doing. And therefore I'm starting to reach the point where I feel like I should be stopping, but I don't know actually what else to do. This kind of thing. I think the vehicle's horrible enough. I think I'll probably stop in a second. Can I put any more textures or anything on the back that aren't too ridiculous looking? You know what? I think I'm finally done. Also, I have forgotten something as well, which I need to put on there now. So let's do that before we forget. So, because it also means that we can add another texture to the thing. We're going to take out this block here. And we're going to add a container controller. We're going to add an ammo container controller. Because we need to put bullets in the gun at some point. Yeah? What can we match around the other side we might need? I'm just trying to think what else might go on here. I think we're kind of done with everything we need to put on here. There's things like ammo lockers and other things you could put on there as well. That's not an ammo locker. There's another one on here. What's that? Oh, that's explosive small block. I was thinking something had to balance out the other side, but I think we're done. We could put a random container on there. We could do that like a random cargo box. Because I'm just saying, by doing this we can add another texture, is what I'm thinking of here as well. Hold on a second. Where is... Those are special cargo boxes. There we go. We can put one of those on there. So we're halfway between the vent we can put in one of those. Like that. And then what are you thinking of here? We can think of, what is that by the way? A spawner plate. Ooh, okay. No idea what that is. Is it this that I'm after? Or is it the shutters? We've got shutter windows. I think I'll probably go with shutter windows. I've used these before now. I used to use these to cover vents, jets up. Like that way up? Or is it the other way that I want? Oh, that'll do. Yeah, I used to put my other things like that, see? There we go. Like that. So there's a bit more detail on the side. And we can put that in... We can put that in yellow as well, probably. Oh, now you want to switch to this one. What have I done wrong that's different about this? I don't know. I'll try and get the hang of how to switch those later, maybe. Like that. And like that. There we go. It's a bit of a different texture on the inside, isn't it? Yeah. And we are done. How fast is this thing, by the way? Oh, to turn a bit harder. Oh, crunch. Not bad. Not bad at all. Lower yourself down. And if we look at the storage, we're still okay for the logic on there. We didn't put a fridge or anything on here. We're not going to worry about that for now. It's something we could do in the future as well if you really wanted to. Replace that box maybe. Put the fridge on the outside. It's a bit exposed for like valuable items depending on what you're putting in there. Okay, so what was I going to look at? I'm going to look something up. What was it again? Save template. Oh, I'm sure there was something else I was going to look at. I haven't got any ammos, have I? That's why I'm not putting it in there. Oh, storage. That's one way to look at. Devices, cargo box, container controller, 5750. It's not huge, but it's not bad. It's not bad. You could put quite a bit of stuff in there. I know it's just a limitation on how many things. You have to do more than one run to take stuff back. That's just how it is, you know? That's how it is. Is it great? No. Is it okay? It's alright for what I build. I'm sure you could build something 1,000 times better. But I'm happy with it. Oh, by the way, I just want to show you this as well. I love it. Let's hope it actually fits in here when I finally build the damn thing. I'll do that next time. But there you go. That is me building a terrible vehicle yet again. There'll be more terrible vehicles to follow. A terrible vehicle in Empyrion Galactic Survival creative mode. Thanks for watching and being patient with my nonsense here. Take care of yourself, and I hope I shall see you again next time. How many more changes I'll make? I feel like I'll make some more changes on this as well. I don't know. I might tweak it a bit more before we build it in the game. I don't know. See you later.